Oh, Eddie, I'm suffering from depression.
Because you're eating you idiot.
Imagine how insensitive that is. Coach Reg, today's video, I'm reacting to the Eddie Abbew show. Eddie Abbew, he got famous, he thinks, for telling it like it is. He thinks that the only reason for mental health disorders, for depression, for anything wrong with your body, it's because of what you eat. That if you only ate the right foods, no one would be depressed, no one would be in a bad mood, no one would be anxious, the world's problems would all be solved by eating the way he says to eat. And so he does this without breaking down the science. Whenever he has to explain something that he doesn't understand, he uses the word cook or shit. The problem is he's in a dream world, imagination land, where he thinks he can say whatever he wants and that other people can't go and talk about it. And so then people think that I'm a bad person because I criticize some of his information. They say, Coach Greg, he's telling you to eat healthy foods. What's wrong with that? That is not the part that I'm criticizing. I'm criticizing everything else.
I'm suffering from depression. Because you're eating you idiot.
And so if we have thousands of people who now clean up their diet who have anxiety, some people by fluke, they're going to feel better. They're going to perhaps no longer be anxious. And so they're thinking, wow, the food solved it. Was it actually the food, or could it be something else? I developed agoraphobia, outside anxiety. Since I moved back to my hometown, started eating clean whole foods, it's 99% gone. And so he pinned that comment, as if it's proof that eating whole foods is what caused his anxiety to go away. Perhaps he lived in a rural area and then moved into a city. Lots of people, perhaps it was New York, I don't know. And he was surrounded by thousands of people, made him uncomfortable. Was scared to go outside, then moved back to his hometown where he grew up, was in a comfortable environment, family and friends and so on, and is now no longer afraid to go outside. And so was it really the change in diet that cured his anxiety, or perhaps him moving back to his hometown?
My mission is to help as many young people as possible from eating all that they eat every day, make them feel.
Let's play a game. Every time Eddie Abbew says cook or shit, you have to walk for 5 minutes. If you did that, you would be way healthier than even eating a healthy diet. I know, I get it. I use a loud screaming voice, and that perhaps is annoying, and Eddie, he has his own thing. But I'm not attacking the person. I do believe he has great intentions. He means well. It's just he doesn't understand the science.
We are suffering with all the foods and all the stuff that we've been told to eat. They're not good for us.
And so what that's saying is that before the invention of junk food, that no one had any of these problems. Agoraphobia, for example, it didn't exist. 1,000 years ago, before we invented Mars bars, Snicker bars, Diet Colas, and so on, there was no one that suffered from mental health. No one had anxiety. Everyone was perfect. They lived forever. I don't think that to be true.
Oh, Eddie, I'm suffering from depression.
Because you're eating shit, you idiot.
Imagine how insensitive that is. Somebody says, hey, Eddie, I'm suffering from depression. Somebody opens up, speaks out, tells them, I'm suffering from depression. Perhaps they're suicidal. They're not feeling good. They no longer want to be on this earth. I mean, all the psychologists, they would lose their jobs. If only people went to the food market and went to the meat and vegetable aisle, there would be no problems. No one would ever need psychological help anymore.
Don't trust these corporations to process your food for you, because they make foods that are going to last for long as possible on the shelves, because they want your money.
And so just because people make food to last a long time, and just because people sell food to make money, doesn't mean that they're going to try to kill you. Last I checked, Eddie says it's okay to consume rice. And when I buy rice, I have it in the shelf for months and or years. Honey Crisp apples, they last for weeks. And last I checked, they're still trying to make money. It's $4 a pound for a Honey Crisp apple. I certainly don't think it costs $4 a pound to make Honey Crisp apples, but guess what? They all want to make money. Everyone wants to make money. Anyone who has a job is doing it to make money. When you're a school teacher, a nurse, a firefighter, no matter what job you have, you get paid for it. That's how we live.
Watch your calories. It was never been about calories. It has never been about calories.
And so he says, we think it's all about calories. Well, yes, it is. If you want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. I'm not saying you shouldn't do so by eating healthy foods, but I am saying that even if you eat junk food, if you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight.
It's supposed to be gut health. This will cook your gut.
Why, Eddie? Why will that bottle of gut health cook up your gut? Please tell me something. At least read an ingredient, read a study and say, this ingredient, it's actually been shown to cause gut problems. You shouldn't consume it. I want to learn from you.
High protein, bold. Look at the back. and they fold over the cooked shitty ingredients, fold it over.
And so what exactly is bad with a protein bar, Eddie? Can you explain it? Protein bar has extra protein. In comparison to a candy bar, is a protein bar not healthier for you than, for example, a Snicker bar? And so if you're out there and you're a normal human being and you're looking for a snack and you say, I can have a Snicker bar, Mars bar, candy bar, whatever, and in comparison, you can have a Seco bar, a protein bar, why is it not better to choose the protein bar? I'm not saying that some of them don't add a lot of sugar. Some of them do, not all of them. But is it not better to make a healthy choice? And for example, if you're craving a pop, and you say, instead of drinking that regular pop, I'm going to have a diet pop, is that not a better decision? Of course, you can debate me. Perhaps you should only drink water. Never drink anything other than water. Maybe. I'm not going to argue that. But is it not better to drink diet pop than regular pop? At least that we can have a debate. Some people are going to be on Coach Greg's side, say diet pop is better than regular. Some people say regular pop is better than diet. For me, personally, I think that diet pop is better if you're trying to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. But if you don't need to lose weight, then drink whatever you want.
What the fuck is this?
Well, it's a donut. I'm not saying that he's wrong, that you probably shouldn't eat it, but I'm saying if you do this in moderation, you're not a bad person.
Fruit juice. I don't even know what to say.
And fruit juice, I agree with him. I think you should eat fruits. The fruit juice, they take out the fiber, the good parts of the fruit, and they make fruit juice out of it. It's basically just sugar. And so that, I agree with him. I'm not saying you should never be able to have a glass of orange juice, but you should do so in moderation.
This is what I've been talking about. Let's look at the science behind all this shit, right?
All right, I can't wait to look at the science behind all this. He's going to explain the science. He's got the white shirt on. He's looking like a doctor. He doesn't claim to be a doctor. Perhaps Mike Israetel will say he thinks he's a doctor, but I don't think he thinks he's a doctor.
1 in 2 of us will get cancer in our lifetime. If you're born after 1960, they're saying that 1 in 2 of us will get cancer. Remember that.
Just because you eat healthy food doesn't mean you're not getting cancer. Is he suggesting that everyone that gets cancer is because you're eating shit food? Does he think that there was no such thing as cancer before the invention of junk food? Hopefully, he doesn't believe so.
9 out of 10 illnesses are related to what we eat. When you say they are metabolically related, that means our lifestyle.
Where is the study that shows this? 9 out of 10, 90% of diseases come from what we eat. And so if Will Tennyson cuts out his donuts and only eats healthy, is he saying that 90% of illnesses would go away? I don't believe it.
All these foods, it's not for our health, it's for profit. Real food that has fiber in it, has the right nutrients in it, doesn't last very long on the shelves.
Real food doesn't last. Is he saying full stop? Full stop, real food doesn't last. And so if I have rice that lasts for months and or years, is that fake food? If I take potatoes and they're in my fridge for perhaps a month or more, and it lasts, does that mean potatoes are no longer real food? And so when 100 years ago, they'd take a steak and they'd put salt on it and put it in a barn and it lasts all winter long, was that fake food? Because it lasted a long time. I mean, hundreds and thousands of years ago, people used to travel overseas. My ancestors came to Canada hundreds of years ago on a boat. It took many weeks, well over a month. They traveled and they, of course, ate. They had real food back then. And so just because it's real food doesn't mean it can't last. Sure, some of it doesn't last very long. Banana gets ripe very quickly and it doesn't last. But just because it lasts more than, for example, a week or two doesn't mean that it's shit food.
Everything that is wrong with us is coming from in here. Our mental health, depression, anxiety, every single thing that's wrong with us is coming from in here.
Everything that's wrong with us. Matter, I'm quoting him. Everything that's wrong with us comes from in here. From in our stomachs. And that includes mental disorders. Does anybody believe that to be true? All diseases, it comes from within your stomach. That is what's causing it.
The reason why they make us all these foods, it's not for our health, it's for profit.
And so he's saying the reason that they don't sell real foods is because of profit. Yet I'm certain that all businesses that sell things at the grocery stores, I don't care which grocery store you go to, they mark that shit up. And the shit I'm referring to is all the food. They mark all of it up. Notice that businesses that sell foods, over the last several years, the prices of groceries have gone through the roof. And it's not just junk food. I would argue that the healthy food has gone up even more than the junk food.
Look, if you want to eat carbohydrates, eat things like wild rice.
That's funny because wild rice has a long shelf life. And he just said that real food doesn't have a long shelf life. I don't know what to say.
And we're making something simple today. We're just starting off with a little chocolate avocado mousse.
And so we're making chocolate avocado stuff. And you put in the avocado and you put in raw cocoa because the other kind of cocoa, it takes out all the shit and puts in bunch of shit. I don't know what part's the shit. I just hear the word shit. And because he says it so often, we glance over it. Is it really bad to have all kinds of cocoa? Is only the raw cocoa the good one?
Putting a bit of agave in, and now I never use sugar. This is a natural sweetener, but I don't recommend any sweeteners, to be fair.
Agave nectar is a sweetener that you can use as an alternative to sugar. There's a number of things that you can use. I'm not saying that you should. I'm not saying that it's healthier. I'm saying that it's very low in calories. And because it's calories in, calories out, if you use these instead of sugar, you're going to lose weight. I'm not saying that sugar is inherently bad, that you can't consume sugar, because after all, let me ask you this. How many people who race bikes, do triathlons, how many do you think don't consume sugar? Raise your hand. If you had a choice and you were doing an Ironman, probably burning off 10,000 calories during that race, would you want to do that race without consuming any sugar? Or would you not want some quick, ready, available energy to be used during that race? And so I had a choice. You can drink water during the Ironman, or you can drink Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Which do you think I'm drinking? If you don't consume anything, just water, you're probably going to run out of energy. If you consume Coca-Cola, you're going to probably have energy. And so which is better? Well, it depends. If you're very active like Coach Greg, literally racing bicycles, then I burn off those calories. And if I consume sugar, it's okay because I'm going to burn it off. And so perhaps Eddie should think of this. Why does he not explain how important it is to do cardio, to move, to do 150 minutes of cardio a week? He just says, stop eating shit. What about doing cardio? My personal opinion, and you can debate me if I'm wrong, it's more important to do cardio than to eat healthy. If you gave me two people, one eats perfectly but does zero cardio, sits on his ass all day, eats a ton of healthy foods, that person's going to be morbidly obese. They're eating too much food. They're fat from eating healthy. The other person eats a lot of junk food. Perhaps they're eating chocolate cake, protein bars, ice cream every single day. But they're doing an hour, 2 hours of bike racing, and they burn off those calories. That person's perhaps 12% body fat. The other one's 30. Who's healthier? I'll let you decide.
The yolk enriches things. It's high in fat, and it just gives it like
It's a natural emulsifier, isn't it?
Yeah, and it gives it like a
natural,
velvety
yeah.
texture.
Okay.
Why? Why are we doing that? I thought protein was healthy. I thought protein built muscle. And so why are we making a dessert and removing all the potential protein? Yeah, there's a little bit of protein in the yolk, but not much. And so why not add in more egg whites? I think I'd rather have a high protein dessert than a low protein dessert. I'd rather have a protein bar than a candy bar. How is that bad? And so if she were to take this recipe and add in some egg whites, I would prefer to add in some Greek yogurt, some cottage cheese, then I would make it that much higher in protein. This is a very high calorie dense meal. It's great for bulking if you're having a hard time putting on weight, but if you're trying to lose weight, this is not a great recipe. If you are looking for great recipes, I got several hundred in my cookbook. Cookbook 3.1. Low calorie delicious meals for the big eater. Most people, the reason they're not losing weight, it's not because calories don't exist, that you shouldn't count calories. It's because you're too hungry. If you're too hungry, you keep eating. If you eat recipes from here, you're full, satisfied, satiated, and you don't eat a lot. I'm not saying Eddie's diet won't work. Eat all healthy food, cut out all sugar in your diet, only eat vegetables and steak, and you're probably going to lose weight. But are you not going to miss those foods you used to eat? And so do you really want to cut all your food? Oh my God, there's so much sugar. Or would you not want to have a more realistic diet that more people can follow?
And this can be like a little dessert on your cheat meal. Once a week we have a cheat meal where we eat whatever we want.
Wow, once a week we allow a cheat meal on his diet. Once a week you get to eat whatever you want so long as it has no sugar and it's made with agave and it's a high calorie, delicious dessert that you eat once a week. On my diet plan with my coaching, and I even have a free diet and training program, it's close to 50 pages. You get it free on my website. You get to eat every single day something that's not on the plan. And so which diet do you think you want to follow? The diet where you get to have a cheat meal once a week as long as there's no sugar in it, as long as it's boring like this, or the one you can eat this every day?
What is that?
This is yogurt, preferably full fat though.
Full fat yogurt, that's it.
And last but not least, let's add in some full fat yogurt. Full fat yogurt, that means it's high in fat, high in calories. In comparison, I would recommend 0% fat Greek yogurt. Very high in calories, very low in fat. You're getting all the protein, you get more volume, and it tastes amazing. Why would you do this? Why would you choose full-fat yogurt over Greek yogurt? You tell me the argument. Ask Eddie Abbew. Eddie Abbew, why is it that you say to eat full-fat regular yogurt and Coach Greg says to eat Greek yogurt? Greek yogurt's higher in protein, lower in calories. Why wouldn't you do that? Maybe he has a great answer. I don't know. Please ask him.
So if you mix a bit of coconut oil and nuts, you can make like this brittle thing.
And next up, let's add some nuts and some coconut oil, and let's have a 1,000 calorie dessert that you can eat in 1 minute. In comparison, tons of desserts taste better than this for less than half of the calories. And so, which do you want to follow?
Do your own processing.
Yeah. Learn to cook.
Yeah. Cooking
is
it's empowering.
Exactly. Cooking is empowering. He's saying to cook your own foods. Cook your own foods with Cookbook 3.1. Cook at home. If you're going to go eat out, you don't know how many calories there are. You're going to a restaurant, probably have 2,000 calories. Cheesecakes and so on. All these have lower calorie recipes for the same things you're normally eating, but they're made lower in calories and higher in protein and tons of fiber. And so please consider Cookbook 3.0. Code Greg, 15% off. Click the link in description. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algo, like the video if you liked it. Watch one of those two boosts, the cookbooks, the training books, the Circle Diet book, any of the supplements. You can get them all on my website. Don't forget about that free diet and training program. Remember, it is free. Phone consults, coaching plans by me and my team, even cameos, all on the website. And until next time, I am out.